What's happening, Canes fam? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, I have a very special guest for you guys. Four-star tight end and Miami Hurricanes commit Brock Schott is an absolute athlete at tight end. He is a matchup nightmare in every sense of the word. He's got the speed on the outside, but can also do the things on the inside. He can block. He is a complete football player. But you don't want to hear from me. You want to hear from the superstar himself. So without further ado, 2025 Miami Hurricanes commit four-star tight ends. I like to say athlete, so slash athlete, Brock Schott. How's it going, bro?
I'm just going pretty good. Thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you, man. How's your season going so far? I know it's early in the season, but give us an update on how it's going so far.
It's going pretty good. We're 3-0 this year, so I mean that's improvement from last year. Last year we were 2-1, so we just keep getting better. It's good to see.
That's obviously you come into the season with your own personal goals, but your team goals as well. So it's good to hear that. The first thing you said was, oh, we're progressing better than last year already. That lets me know even before we get going where the mindset is, where that team first mindset is. So how let's recap last year a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. Last year, another explosive season, then a very busy off season. What is it like before we get into the commit? What is it like balancing that in the off season where you want to take your visits, but you also got work to do with your squad and getting better and preparing for your season? How is it balancing all that?
I mean, it can be stressful at times. I mean, really just gotta if you have your goals set straight. I mean, like the team's always got to come first. I mean, but I mean, which your recruitment is really important to me because I mean it's where you're gonna go for the next 4 years. So I mean, especially when you're going on like these visits and stuff, you just got to pay a lot of attention. You can try to get as much info as you can out of it, so you can get a decision made and just trying to focus on your team and help develop on the team.
And I like that you said that, it's obviously an important decision. It's the biggest decision you'll make up until this point in your life. Cause like you said, it's where you're living for the next 3 to 4 years. What went into you deciding I'm going to be a Miami Hurricane and this is my home for the next 3 to 4 years?
I mean, just the first time I went down there, really. I mean, I love the campus. I mean, it wasn't really what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be like a really big campus, a lot of students. I mean, it's really the opposite. I mean, private, really small campus, really nice, a really nice area too. So, I mean, we went down there. Me and my mom loved it, and then we got my dad to come down, and he loved it too. So we just decided the coaches made it feel like home, so we thought it was the best place for me.
What was that day like? Because obviously, from the time you start playing ball, the goal is all right, D1, then the league. That's the dream. That's the progression. So, what was it like on that day for you and the family when you decided, all right, I know where I'm committing?
I mean, they're all really excited, especially I mean, calling Coach Cristobal and letting him know. I mean, that was probably my favorite part. I mean, he was so fired up when I called him and let him know. I mean, he was like, sounded like he was running around his house yelling and stuff. So, I mean, he was really excited, and my parents were really happy for me. So it was a really good day.
Do you remember your very first interaction with Coach Cristobal?
I actually do. I remember. I mean, it was kind of quick because my first visit. I think it was because we went down the first time I went. It was an official visit weekend. So he was kind of with the 24 classes. So I kind of popped into his office. He said what's up to me and just told me how much he really likes me and wants to see me develop in the future. So I mean that's pretty much my first interaction with him.
And how's that relationship grown? Not just with him, but with everyone on the staff. With you got Coach Woodale, who I always butcher his last name. Fantastic tight end coach. Obviously Mario, and he's got an extension there. I know his offensive line. I know Mirabal loves you too. So I know when they see what you can do in the trenches, I'm sure you get it from all of them. What's that relationship like building with the staff over the past year or so?
I mean, it's been really good. I mean, I think they're definitely the best school at, like, staying in touch. I mean, checking in with me, like, about every week, almost every other day, they check in with me, call me, see how I'm doing, just ask how the season going, how my body's feeling, just making sure they're always on top of things, so they always know what's going on.
How much did the great tradition Miami has at tight end factored into your decision to want to become a Hurricane? You got the Jeremy Shockeys, Greg Olsons. We can sit here and list names for days. How much did that factor into you wanting to become a Cane?
I mean, that was probably one of the bigger factors. I mean, I know the last year, I mean, they didn't really show a lot of tight end usage, but I mean, a lot of that was due to injury. So I mean, just knowing the history they had, and I knew they're going to get the tight ends involved this year. Just the stuff they're showing me that they're working on in the offseason. I mean, that was a big factor in my decision.
How cool has that been? Obviously, they tell you like Brock, trust me, we're. I know you saw what you saw last year, but we're working guys in. We're gonna get the tight ends involved, and then these past first two games, they have eclipsed last year's production completely. Elijah Arroyo looks like he's going to be a large part of this offense. We're seeing Riley Williams get involved. We're seeing Elijah Lofton. Cam McCormick scored the first touchdown of the season. How has it been seeing the tight ends get to eat in this offense? Obviously, knowing that Dawson told you this, but you're getting to see it with your own eyes now.
I mean, it's been really exciting so far. I mean, that first touchdown Cam scored. I mean, I was really happy for him. I mean, that was a really special moment for him, obviously. So, I mean, I think it's been really exciting, especially like they're getting the younger guys in. I mean, Elijah was in there. He caught a little screen pass. I mean, it's just really good. They're getting a lot of different guys and they're doing a lot of different stuff. So, I think it's been really exciting.
When you look at that Dawson offense, how excited are you to fit into it? When you see how much he does, I mean, we see Elijah Lofton got used in all kind of ways in the spring, and we're seeing Arroyo get split out now. How excited are you to be a weapon in that Dawson offense?
I mean, I'm really excited. I'm really anxious to see how they're going to use me. I mean, they tell me they're going to use me a lot of different ways, so I just really can't wait to get in there and see where I'll fit best at in the offense.
Yeah, I know I speak for all of us when we see the film, and we're gonna get into it. It's oh, we can't wait to see how Dawson uses you. For at one point, there's a clip of you just absolutely smoking the entire defense, and people were commenting on like CB. I didn't know he was that fast. I'm like y'all, that athlete tag is real. I love that you give Dawson that weapon though, right? You can do everything with you on the field. If it becomes short yardage and we're moving fast, we don't have to take you off the field. Just line him up in line and run the football. He's going to block who's in front of him. Now, if we need to spread you out, you can spread out as well. That versatility gives Dawson so much he can use. So from one commit to another, you guys had what I like to call the red carpet for Miami Hurricane recruiting, the barbecue, the cookout. It is the chance for you guys to mingle with the recruits that are committed and do a little bit of recruiting yourself. What was that experience like getting down there and just getting to know some of the other commits in the class?
I mean, I thought that was a really good experience. I mean, especially getting to know like Luca, the other tight end committed, and especially with Luke Nickel. I mean, I thought it was really important to get to know with Luke Nickel, talking to him a lot. I mean, especially when you're working out in the field, kind of just getting a sense for how he's throwing the ball, how he's moving, just timing stuff up. I mean, so that was definitely a really good experience. I was really happy we were able to make it down to that weekend.
What were some of your first impressions of a future QB1 there, Luke Nickel?
I mean, I was really impressed with him. I mean, he looked very confident. He was throwing. I mean, all of his throws were like lasers. They were all on point. So I'm really excited to be able to work with them in the future.
Is he as calm as he seems? So I've had him on here twice. Talk to him all the time. He seems like the most calm young man I've ever met in my life. Is he as calm as he comes off?
I mean, I think he is. I mean, from I've talked to him down that weekend, I thought he was. So yeah.
It's cool to see. It seems like nothing is just too big or too little for him. Like it's like up by 40, down by 7. Luke is the same consistently. And I think that kind of confidence from the quarterback, obviously, it just permeates throughout the entire football team. Who are some of the other guys that you were happy that you got to meet at that cook-off?
I mean, Jamie French is another guy I got to talk to. I mean, I know they're still working to get him back. Um, Elijah, I mean, I know he decommitted, but I mean, those are the other two guys. I mean, I really talked to for a long time. I mean, Max Buchanan too. Those are guys I was talking to. I mean, jumping off the high dive with them, just kind of team bond and stuff. So that was all really fun getting to know the guys.
So did y'all? I know last year they played a football game. Did y'all play a football game at all this year?
No, we didn't do that this year. No.
Yeah, last year they played a football game and it was incredibly skewed because Judd was the quarterback. So he knew all the people that he wanted to recruit. So he was making sure he threw the ball like to JoJo.
Yeah.
But I think those experiences are just cool for y'all. This way, cameras ain't on you. You're not worried about who's seeing. You just get to hang out with the guys that you're going to be potentially playing with in the next couple years. I think that's just an amazing bonding experience for that entire class. And one of the things I love before we get into the film about you guys, it seems like once Cristobal gets y'all to commit, you guys become instant recruiters, like almost overnight. Talk to how much pride you guys take in not just building the 25 class, but trying to have another historic class for Miami.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we take it pretty serious. I mean, I know Luke's a big recruiter. Like he texted me before I committed. Like he would text me all the time. And I was talking with him. He was texting all these other recruiters trying to get him to come down and stuff. So, I mean, we had a big group chat on Instagram with some recruits and other stuff. So we just make sure we're keeping in touch with everybody, touching base with them and stuff. So I mean, we definitely take some pride in it.
I love that. I love that. He's like, bro, Luke was kind of like my point. Like he
Yeah.
was the second Luke committed. He was like, all right, I need Brock. Give me his number. I'm gonna text him right now. But it's that pride y'all all take in being Hurricanes, where it's like, all right, I'm signed up. Cool. Who's next? Like I asked him, like, who is it at the cookout? And the first person he named is someone that they obviously all went to recruit. So I love that y'all have that singular mindset where it's like, okay, I'm in, but how can we make this class better? Let's not just stop where we are. So for those of y'all that are going, okay, but I want to see the film now. Brock, you get to do a little bit of everything in your offense. Have you always liked being the guy that can push the ball down the field, that can work in between the hashes, that can do a little bit of everything?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I really enjoy just being used in a whole bunch of different ways. I mean, whatever I can do to get on the field and help the team. I mean, I'm going to do it. So I mean, pretty much anything I can do to help the offense push the ball down the field. I mean, I love making big explosive plays. So I mean, yeah.
Do you feel like your route running goes underrated a little bit? Because as we're watching this route, this post is crisp, like foot in the ground, boom, no wasted motion. You feel like that part of your game's a little underrated?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be at times, for sure. But I mean, that's something I always work on. That's like one of the biggest things I always work on, getting in and out of breaks, like trying to be as crisp as I can in and out of breaks. So I think that's definitely something that can be underrated, but definitely something else I can improve on too.
How excited were you when this got called?
Oh, I was really we worked on this pregame before the other team got here. We worked on it the whole week of practice coming up. To I mean, we knew it would work based on how they played the hitch and stuff. So I mean, that was a really exciting play call.
Bro, we had this in our offense when I was in high school, and we never got to ran this in game. And it worked sometimes in practice. Sometimes you can't run it too much in practice. Eventually, the DBs know it's coming.
Yeah.
But I know you had to be so hyped knowing, oh, they called it. Like I know they put it in, but it doesn't mean they're gonna call it. So I know you had to be very excited, and you guys executed this absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Down
definitely
the
one of the
sideline,
worst of the year.
gone. Absolutely gone down the sideline, too. Did you used to play like some running back in little league or back in the day?
Middle school. Yeah, I played running back in middle school.
Do you feel like that helps you when you get the ball in your hands in the open field?
Yeah, I think that definitely helped develop me for sure.
And then this is a quarterback understanding. I'm just gonna put it up there where only he can get it because I know 9 is coming down with it. These 50-50 balls here. How much of this is obviously your quarterback having the trust in you and you also going, all right, if he's on me, just put it up there and I'll protect you.
I mean, yeah, it's really big. I mean, whenever a play like this is called, I mean, if it's just a one-on-one situation, I mean, I make sure to let him know in the huddle. I'm like, yo, look at me on this. I mean, I'm gonna catch it, so just throw it up there. I'm gonna go get it. So,
And then this is what I mean by the versatility. So then we see you on a jailbreak here, which when you hear tight end and jailbreak screen, that doesn't always work in the same sentence. But here we see the athleticism, the vision, and then the jets in the open field. If I had to give you a specific play, I usually like to ask route, but you do so many different things, Brock, that I'm gonna have to say play. What's your favorite style? Is it a screen? Is it when you get to attack the middle of the field, or when you're one on one on the outside? What would if I say it's fourth down and we're giving you the option? What would you like?
I mean, I don't know. I think I like attacking in the middle of the field. I like kind of catching in the middle and seeing everything kind of open up, being able to like run up the seam and make a big play. I think that's probably one of my favorite things.
Do you have a favorite route that you like to run?
I mean, I really like running a post because I feel like that works a lot with our offense, and I feel like we've made a lot of explosive plays through that.
This ability to just get upfield and put on the burners. How does your track coach ever hit you up? Does he ever watch a highlight and go, look, can I have him for like just the 4x1 or something?
I mean, yeah. With the track coach, he used to help coach the football team. So he asked me a couple of times if I was gonna run, but I mean, I never really did it. So
That speed is something special. Like that ability to put your foot down in the open field and go. But then what I love, oh, this speaks to my heart, Brock. So you have explosive highlights for days. This entire huddle could have just been explosive highlights if you wanted them to be. this shows me that you take pride in your blocking as well. That you put it on your highlight package, your package to show people this is who Brock Schott is. How much do you take pride in being a complete tight end and being a physical blocker as well?
I mean, yeah, that's something I definitely take a lot of pride in. I mean, my dad, he was an O lineman in college, so I mean, he always makes sure. I mean, ever since I was little, like blocking was one of the big emphases that he had on my game to make sure I always hand placement, feet. I mean, just he's always worked with me on it. So that's definitely a big part of my game that I always work on and take a lot of pride in.
What's that like having somebody at home that knows the journey? You know what I mean? Like, so when you said, I want to be a NFL football player, you had someone at home that's like, okay, well, that's possible. Like, dreams are achievable. I achieve mine. What's that like having someone at home that you know that you can really relate to in a situation, whether it's football, whether that's technique or getting too down on yourself, how to handle recruiting? Your father has been through this. What's that asset been like at home?
I mean, it's definitely super helpful. I mean, having a resource like that. I mean, just because he knows like what if I tell him, I can let him know what's going on, what I'm thinking, and he always got a way I can kind of get through it. So I mean, he's definitely really helpful to have him there, just kind of as a mentor, kind of.
How hard is he on you as when it comes to your blocking? I know he loves the explosive plays, but how hard is he when it comes to your blocking?
I mean, he's pretty hard. I mean, we'll go watch film as a team on Saturday mornings. Then I get home and I have to watch the film again with him, and he just kind of he's making sure I got everything down, making sure my feet are right. So I mean, pretty much after every game, he's criticizing my blocking and making sure I'm getting everything right.
Has film study always been a big part of your game?
I mean, yeah, I think definitely. Yeah, I mean, just I think it helps a lot to go back and kind of watch yourself, see what you can improve on. I mean, that's definitely something really big. I think that's a really big part of my game.
Do you remember when it really started to click for you? Like when you're running routes and you can read a defense in real time and it feels like everyone is slowing down. Do you have that moment when you felt like the game started slowing down for you?
Yeah, I think about kind of like my second year of playing like 7-on-7. I mean, that's one of the like 7-on-7 was a big thing that helped with stuff like that. Just kind of being able to find the soft spot in the zone. So I mean, it's kind of like the second year doing that and just kind of being able to like, cause our 7-on-7 coaches kind of like emphasize that they like more than like the actual playing. Like they want us to be able to read defenses, kind of sit in the soft zone. So I think that was probably when I was able to finally get that stuff down.
I like that you brought that up because a lot of times you can develop bad habits with 7-on-7. It's why a lot of people say, "Is 7-on-7 helpful?" But I love that you brought up, but you can still use it for positive ways. You can use it
Mhm.
to actually learn how to read and diagnose coverages. And I love that 7-on-7 has given you that extra little bit of chink in your armor. You can pull from everywhere. But I love that you gave that shout out to, well, you know, when I got 7-on-7, whereas obviously quarterback only has a number of seconds to get the ball out of his hands. So I have to read, I have to present myself early and quick. I like that that gave you that extra chink in your armor.
Yeah.
So do you feel like coming into this year, it was a bit different for you and you had to prepare a little bit different? Because I mean, obviously you're still the 4-star tight end, but now you're the Miami commit and teams are starting to key in on you. You feel like it was a bit different coming into this year?
I mean, yeah, I definitely think so this year. I mean, because I mean, we had a guy transfer in last year who was another big time receiver. So I mean, it kind of like took like all the attention, and we kind of they couldn't double both of us. I mean, they had to pick one or the other. So I mean, kind of like him leaving, kind of like leaves me with like I got more like eyes on me instead. So I mean, it definitely takes a different type of game plan to get ready for the games this year for sure.
Is there a lot of double teams at safety over the top now?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm back like backside on trips. Remember week one, they always had that other safety over top to kind of cut off anything going through the middle. So I mean, that's something we just got to work through on offense.
How much does your offensive coordinator give you that freedom though to move you around when it's like, okay, they're clearly scheming against 9 today, so let's just move him around and try to create a mismatch. Does he give you that freedom?
I mean, yeah, he puts in like a lot of plays, like me going in, like if I be split out wide, we got some plays where I go in the slot, I mean, at H back, or there's a couple formations this year. I'm at wildcat or running back. So I mean, he just kind of moving around, just kind of see what we can do to make big plays happen.
Wildcat.
Yeah,
How excited were you when that got put in?
I've been really excited. I mean, I haven't been back there yet at Wildcat, in a game yet. I mean, I've been at running back, in a different Wildcat formation, but I mean, I'm really excited to try to get to run it in a game.
So hold on. So it's gonna be you and Elijah Lofton there. that can play running back, fullback, tight end, slot receiver. That versatility is just have you always been a football player from the time where it's little league where you were just like I want to do everything if I can. I want to try to play everything because so it's not on this film, but wicked defensive end as well. Have you just always enjoyed playing both sides of the football and just doing whatever you can to get the win?
I mean, yeah, I mean, ever since we were like younger, I mean, I've always been playing both ways. So I mean, that's just something I've always taken a lot of pride in, is being able to go both ways, just kind of do whatever I can, be all over the field at once.
How much does Coach Jason Taylor still pull up that defensive end footage and try to convince Mario that look, I know Dawson loves him, but the pass rush in the bend is crazy. Can I just have him a little bit? Does he
I
ever
mean,
try?
I mean, I talked to him for a little bit on the cookout weekend and the official visit weekend, but I mean, Coach Whittle, I mean, I've asked Coach Whittle about it, and he said like he's not letting it happen. So he just
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
not.
anytime
He's
it's
not.
brought up, he just kind of shuts it down. So
I know he's not. I know he was happy you separated your huddle because he was probably like, "All right, stop asking. This is what y'all need to watch. This is all we're watching. Don't forget he plays defensive end. I'm not letting him go. It's not happening." But I do like that there's that Coach Jason Taylor is just like leaning over at the table, like just in case.
yeah.
I'd like to have him at DN. So, are there any players that you like to watch and study? I know obviously you don't want to copy anybody because no one's Brock Schott. You know, you're going to be your own football player. But are there some guys you like to study and take from to kind of add to your game?
I think yeah, George Kittle and Sam Laporta, I think are like the two biggest like NFL guys that I kind of try to copy, see, because I really like how their style of play. I mean, I feel like Sam Laporta is a guy who I'm kind of more similar to, especially like size wise. So I mean, those are probably the two guys I would say that I try to model my game after.
I love a tight end that likes to study the game and likes to study so you study tight ends that are also versatile that can put their hands in the dirt and get you some separation and get you some push up front and that are wicked in the pass game. George Kittle is one of the most complete tight ends you will find. And when you split him out or you flex him out, he's an absolute matchup nightmare. For you, when you're flexed out, do you still get that glimmer when you see a slot like linebacker try to
Yeah.
come out on you? Or at this point, do you know how to keep it internal? Or do you still kind of smile a little bit when you see that outside linebacker cheat out?
I mean, I think I do a pretty good job of kind of keeping it internal, just kind of hiding it.
What are you like on those games when it's all right, 3 sacks, right? 7 catches, a buck 49, 3 touchdowns. Is Brock a quiet guy on the field, or is there a little trash talking?
I mean, I don't really ever trash talk. I'm pretty quiet on the field. I'll really only talk to my teammates, try to get them going. So I'd say I'm a pretty quiet player.
See, y'all, he's humble. He's gonna give you a buck 50, and then he's gonna shake your hand. And I absolutely love that because sometimes you you need to remind people what you're doing, and sometimes there's no need to say it. You know what I mean? This safety knows. You've ran past him 4 times this game. You don't need to say it. He already knows it. There's no need to kick him while he's down. So something I love to ask everyone that comes on here, you guys go through so much as recruits. I think sometimes it goes understated how much you guys sacrifice working with your football team, working with 7-on-7, working outside of football, traveling for visits, going to see games and officials, unofficials, homework, having a regular life, being a brother, being a son, being a boyfriend, being a best friend. Sometimes that can be overwhelming. On those days when it's hard to get up, when you soar and your body's telling you, I cannot today, what is that why that keeps you going and keeps you motivated?
I mean, I think especially like during the season and stuff, you just got to think about the team. Like, what's the best interest of the team? Like, what can you do to help the team get better, just and help be a better family member, just stuff like that. I mean, you just got to always keep that in the back of your mind to help you just keep growing as a person.
Where does that grounded nature come from? Because a lot of times we can get out ahead of ourselves, right? And we only see what we do. But with every response, it's very grounded from you. It's very, I like to analyze. I like to look at the situation for what it is. I'm a team guy first. When we started talking, like, how's the season going? You didn't say yards. You didn't say catches. You didn't say touchdowns. You said, we are 3-0 right now. Where does that mentality come from, Brock? That very humble way of looking at the game, that team first mentality.
I mean, I definitely how my parent, like growing up, just kind of how my parents raised me, not to be, just stay humble, just kind of be yourself. And then our head coach emphasizes that a lot too. I mean, it's not about yourself. Like nobody's bigger than the team. So it's always about the team. Just got to put yourself in the backseat, kind of let the team go first.
So people on this channel have heard me say this. The way you turn around programs and the way you win national championships and make college football playoffs is with elite talent, but those elite talents have to be elite individuals as well. That's how you build culture. After talking to you, I understand why Cristobal was in love. I understand why Cristobal wanted you on this roster, because you are that kind of talent. You are that guy you want in your locker room who is going to give you 100% and is going to be elite on the field. But he's also thinking team first. He's also going to do the extra rep. He's going to run that extra one. He's going to stay after with his quarterback. That's how you build championship culture. With you put 20 Brock Schotts in a locker room, you're going to win because of that dedication, because of that ability to see the forest through the trees. You're not just looking at you. Not once in this entire interview has he named a number that he put up at all. He still hasn't said I had 50 catches last year. I was like, the offensive chemistry. He immediately goes to the work they put in. He didn't say, yeah, the chemistry's great. I had 1,200 yards last year. That looking at the game that way is why Miami's going to be successful. When they recruit young men like you, there's nothing but wins in their future. There's nothing but hardware and trophies for the closet, because it all starts with that kind of culture. It all starts with guys who care about the work more than the result. So I have to give you that shout out, because it's another player that is an example of the culture that Cristobal is trying to create in Miami.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
But thank you so much for coming on. I wish you nothing but good health and a successful year. And I'm going to force you to do this. And I know this is not your type of thing, but I have to ask. Single season goals. What is your single season goals for the season?
I'd say offensively, definitely 50 catches, try to get to 1,000 yards, at least 10 touchdowns. That's just a little bit more than I got last year. So, and defensively, I'm trying to get 20 sacks. I had 19 last year, so I just got to get that one more, get to 20.
Let's go. All right. So I like to say we speak things into existence here. Ain't no if, there is a when. So when you get 50 catches, when you get over 1,000 yards, when you get over 20 sacks, we're going to have you back on so we can watch that film. We can sit back and go, spoke it into existence, and we can sit back and enjoy that last season. And another thing I want to ask, you feel like it's going to be really bittersweet, that last high school game? Because, these are your boys you've been playing with. You obviously been blood, sweat, and tears with. Do you think it's going to be a little bit bittersweet after this season?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, it kind of something every senior football player goes through. So, I mean, yeah, it'll be a little bittersweet for sure.
But what I do want to say though is that legacy you're leaving behind of that hard work. I know everyone in that locker room that are juniors on down are appreciative, because now they have a standard, right? So when Brock leaves, everybody in that tight end room knows this is a standard. We have to work. That he did it. No, nobody can fall short of that work ethic that you showed them. Anyone in that locker room that's going, I mean, I'd love to go to Florida State or Miami, but it's not possible. No, 9 just did it, but you're going to have to work because 9 put in the work. So what you guys are doing, what that entire senior class is doing, it's setting a standard, and that standard will continue to be upheld. So hold that in pride, man. You guys are, in a year or so, there's going to be somebody else wearing that 9. I guarantee you there's a sophomore or freshman right now who cannot wait to have your jersey. He probably not saying it out loud, but he's saying it to all his friends that, man, I'm going to be the next Brock. The second he leaves here, I want to wear 9. So keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to inspire the next generation as well.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter as well, so they can keep up with you throughout the season.
Oh yeah, Instagram, just follow Brock_Schott, and then Twitter, pretty sure it's the same thing. So just hit me up on there.
I'll link both of those down in the description. All you have to do is click them. They'll take you straight to his pages. Go follow him right now. And I'll have his huddle link down so you can watch his huddle throughout the season. A lot of times they'll break them down game by game. So if you're seeing a game, you're like, oh, he plays them, you'll be able to keep up with him throughout the year. And at any time they stream your games, DM me the link. I'll tweet it out so all of Canes fam can show up and we can support you in the comments, cheering you on.
All right, yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Brock right now. Do not wait. Click off the video and go follow Brock. We out.